Hey everyone, I am Vikram. I'm a co-founder at QuantLayer. We're building a cryptocurrency market intelligence platform. You can find us at quantlayer.com. We're on Twitter at QuantLayer. We also do a QuantLayer crypto podcast, which is a podcast for anyone who's interested in crypto. So you should check it out if you have an interest in checking it out. So our capabilities, we're a software consultancy. We build software for our clients who range from startups to larger institutions. We do blockchain strategy and implementation work for them. And more recently, we've got a lot of interest from clients for on-chain analysis and smart contract auditing. And I'll talk a little more about that in a bit. So my background, I used to be a tech investment banker at UBS and Morgan Stanley. I worked for a couple hedge funds, one in San Francisco, another out here in Boston, where I ran a options trading portfolio. And at the time, I cared a lot about traditional research tools like Bloomberg, StreetAccount, FactSet. And then I got interested in crypto, and I realized there really weren't any tools in that space. So the other issue that comes up with trading crypto is a lot of crypto traders only care about technical analysis right now. The most like arcane things you can think of, like the 10-day moving average, the Ichimoku cloud. What ends up happening is because the traders are so focused on this particular mode of trading, trades get very crowded. So if you have a low liquidity and a crowded trade, it's just a recipe for disaster and volatility. And as a fund manager, you're always looking for edge. So in traditional markets, you have earnings, cash flows, you have trusted sources of data like SEC filings, earnings calls, Reg FD. And again, you don't have any of that in crypto. But what you do have in crypto are these open network protocols where you can analyze what's going on a public open blockchain. So you can look at network hash rates, transaction volume, and you can come to some kind of investment thesis based on that. So because of this information asymmetry, we have, on one hand, everyone's focusing on technical analysis, and on the other hand, we have sophisticated investors who care about these open data networks. There's a huge information asymmetry, and there's opportunity to generate a significant amount of alpha. So what do crypto investors care about? Three major things. One, on-chain data, what teams are talking about in their chat rooms, and finally code quality. And we'll go through each of these with examples from our platform. So the first thing, on-chain data. As I mentioned before, on-chain data is data that is public to a public blockchain. So something like overall transaction volume, network hash rates, and things like that. So the first example for on-chain data that I'll look at is the Lightning Network. Very broadly, the Lightning Network is a second layer application built on top of Bitcoin that allows for quick and secure transactions. So how is it related to the price of Bitcoin? Well, you actually have to lock up Bitcoin into the network in order to participate in it. So the example here with the Lightning Network, in the couple weeks leading up to late July, we saw the Lightning Network capacity, that's the amount of Bitcoin locked up in that network, rise about 60%. And over the same period, Bitcoin price rose about 35%. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily one-to-one, but certainly there's some kind of relationship. And as this industry moves away from technical analysis and more towards fundamental analysis, you'll see people caring more about these type of analyses. So what else do crypto investors care about? Team chatter. So teams, this one's really fun because teams give all kinds of ridiculous information in their chat rooms. In this example, Icon Project, it's one of these really ambitious interoperability layers that's trying to connect different kinds of blockchains. They announced that they're updating the roadmap in their chat. So if you're a trader and you care about this particular asset, you could go look at the roadmap, see how it compares to your own expectations, and make a trade or an investment based on that. In this other example, we see VeChain. It's another kind of arcane coin. They're asking people not to make fun of their founder. So this is like Tesla IR telling people, hey guys, be nice to Elon Musk. Finally, code is king. So what I mean by this is code quality is really important to crypto investors. So bug fixes, code updates, things like that, you want to keep track of this stuff. So I'm going to give one quick example right here. GNT stands for Golem Network. It's one of these platforms where you can rent out unused compute power. So this is one from one of their code commits. The title of the commit is Handle Missing GNT Deposit on Mainnet. So even if you were not a developer, you would listen to that and say, oh, that's a little bit concerning. Why is there a deposit missing on the mainnet? So you can go investigate. It looks like they have some kind of loop trying to prevent it from happening again. But if you care about this, you're gonna have a lot of questions come out of that. And finally, I'll just highlight a few other things the platform captures: exchange listings and delistings, regulatory decisions, and finally, what kind of press releases coins put out real time. So that's basically what we're up to. Thanks. Yep.
So I'm curious, are you guys looking to get into the rating side of things, or MSL, or?
Right now, what we're doing is mostly aggregating a ton of different sources of data. We're about 130 right now, and we want to let the traders and investor decide how to invest based on that. Getting into the ratings game, I think, is going to require a bit more regulatory work, but we're not at that point just yet. Yep.
Yeah. So, how do you price this for your customers?
So this is a SaaS model. We have 3 tiers. One is the retail trader. The second tier is the professional investor/trader. And the third tier is an enterprise plan, which is basically access to our API. We'll price any kind of special integration work that they want with their systems, things like that.
And what's the pricing?
So retail is about $25 a month. The mid-tier is about $150 to $200 a month, and then the API is in the thousands. Yep.
Sorry. How do you think about combining this sort of data with the technical analysis that people are already doing?
So when I traded full-time, I used multiple sources to inform a decision. So I could care about technical analysis to enter and exit a trade, but I also would care about the fundamentals. So if there are traders who want to do both, that's fine. They can use our product for the fundamentals, and they can use another product for the technicals, and that's totally cool. Yep.
Do you think you can use those 3 fundamentals to actually determine a price, or is it more directional? It's going up or down?
The examples I just gave, it's more directional. We're not at a point yet where we can say, oh, because of X, Y, and Z, Bitcoin's worth 30,000 or 5,000.
Do you think it'll get to that point?
Well, if cryptocurrencies end up trading like how commodities trade, you will get closer, but you can't pinpoint like a oil barrel price to a particular, you can't peg it, right? So I think it'll be kind of be like that. Yep.
And looking at your roadmap and things like security tokens, ICOs in the future, how will that play into your platform?
Sure. So all these blockchains, so security token blockchains, if they're public, we'll be able to analyze them. So if there's particular movement within those blockchains, we can highlight those for our users. So to give you an example, an upcoming feature that we don't have yet is a wallet listener. So a lot of large crypto hedge funds have public wallets, and they actually list all the assets they hold, and we can watch it real time in terms of what assets are leaving and what assets are entering. So if we have, some fund here in Boston is like a 30% holder of a security token, then they start dumping it on the market, we'll be able to flag that. Yeah.
Do you have anything around alerts?
Yeah. So every time basically, I think over the last 6 months, we've generated about 300,000 alerts. So 50,000 alerts a month, that's the amount that we're generating. So there's a bit of noise in there, but professional traders can kind of filter through that noise and know which alerts are important. Yeah?
Why aren't you trading yet? Or are you?
So I don't trade for compliance reasons. I don't trade off of this. I'm more interested in building this as a product. I might employ like a buy and hold strategy, but I'm not in the business of watching that market day to day because it's just too stressful. I have enough stress.
Thank you.
Yeah.